So welcome to my first thoughts for Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. Now this is coming out for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch 2, and Steam. And I also want to say that I played this on the PS5 Pro. And there's a great demo out there for everybody to play right now. And I teamed up with Sega to promote the game, so definitely check out the link down below. Are you guys looking forward to Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties? Is it on your radar? Is it something you're looking forward to? Did you play Yakuza 3 when it first came out? Let me know down below. So what this is, it's a remake of Yakuza 3 that was released in Japan in 2009 and it was brought over here in 2010. And then a remaster came out in Japan in 2018 and 2019 in North America as a download only, but it finally got a physical release in 2020 for the Yakuza Remaster Collection. And they've also added a never before seen story with Dark Ties. So yes, you're getting two games in one with this one.
Well, I suppose you're good for one thing. Killing time.
So right from the title, you can select two games, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. And when you do that, you can select different difficulty options. You can do standard or auto assist. So the stories take place in Tokyo and in Okinawa. And this is where we see Kiryu running an orphanage called Morning Glory with his adoptive daughter.
Uncle Kaz, we don't have to leave our home, do we?
And he's reluctantly dragged back into the underworld.
This is getting out of hand. These guys have got to stop. I can't have them sending us these eviction notices every day. And the kids are starting to get scared. Why wouldn't they with those Ryū boys posting up here intimidating everyone? Maybe it's time I swing by their headquarters. Introduce myself properly.
So before I get into gameplay, let's just talk about the graphics for a second. They've recreated Tokyo and Okinawa in such incredible detail that it really brings this game to life. Just running down the streets, seeing the different stores, they've really added a lot of extra detail in this game with a really wonderful frame rate. And one thing I have to say, I have never been to Japan. It's a crying shame. It's one of those things I've got to do in my lifetime. But I get to vicariously live there through this game's visuals and settings. And boy, it's really amazing to run down these streets in the day or the night. Just stunning stuff.
Morons.
Now for gameplay, this is an action-adventure game where you're running around Tokyo and Okinawa and you're completing different quests, you're helping people around the city. One of my favorite things to do is do karaoke.
I'm such a mess, I'm lost, I'm no good at this. I'm in love with you.
Yeah, there's many different ways to help people around the city, and you'll always run into people doing like really unusual things or requesting unusual things from you, which always has a bit of humor involved.
Got the ice cream. Now, I just need to get it to the kids. I better be careful. Can't go bumping into cars or other people.
And there's a lot of ways to traverse the different cities. Obviously, you have the run button so you can speed run through the city. And there's also taxis that you can jump in, and they will take you to different points in the city. But my favorite is the Street Surfer. And you use this to help you get around the city. And I just love racing down the street, bumping into people, then getting into combat. Really a lot of fun. Yes, and that's when we initiate into some combat, running around the city. There's always these thugs and punks that always want to take you on. So for Yakuza 3, you have two different battle styles. The first is the Dragon of Dojima, Kiwami. And that's your classic fighting, where you can just punch and kick your enemies. You can grab them, you can throw them, you can pick up objects and hit them with them. But then you can switch to your second style, and this allows you to utilize weapons, 8 different types. But it's so much fun to hit your enemies with all of these different weapons, especially the nunchaku. That's something else I want to get into here. You got power-up mode called Dragon Boost. Now, this unleashes super powerful attacks on your enemies, and it's a lot of fun to do. And something else to look forward to in the full game is that you play as Kiryu, and he's looking after an orphanage. And you can finally play out like the full days there at Morning Glory. And there's so many different things you can do there. You can do homework with the kids, cooking, sub-stories, and you can build bonds. And the one thing with all that, it allows you to see the character grow from all of these interactions.
I'll go see what's up.
And there's also a team battle mode, so Kiryu recruits allies to fight beside him. And in these fights, this is where you can level up and you can buy brand new weapons, and you can completely customize all of your teams with color and designs, and you can even do that with the motorcycles. So that's Yakuza 3. Let's talk about Dark Ties for a second. Now, this is a brand new story that takes place in Tokyo, starring Yoshitaka Mine, and he's trying to make a name for himself in the underworld. So he's an interesting character because he grew up poor and he joins the Yakuza, and that's where he rises through the ranks very quickly.
That's why I made it my goal, to make something of myself, to obtain wealth, prestige, everything, and then some. I worked harder than anyone else, endured more than anyone else, to reap all that I could.
And you're the protagonist against Kiryu from Yakuza 3, and it tells the story leading into Yakuza 3.
Neither wealth nor prestige could satisfy me. There was only ever one thing I desired.
But the cool thing with your main character with this one is you have this amazing boxing style that you can use. So you're boxing the crap out of all the enemies, but you can also jump off the enemies as well to do other special moves. And you also have a battle style called Dark Awakening. And this is kind of like a rage style of attack where you basically go into beast mode. And there's also Kanda, damage control. This is also in the full game, and this is where you raise Kanda's reputation by completing different missions and events. And there's also an underground fight club called Hell's Arena, and there's a ton of survival modes to fight through. So what are my final thoughts for Yakuza, Kiwami, 3, and Dark Ties? Where I feel this is the perfect and best way to play Yakuza 3. It really is. They've added new cutscenes, they've overhauled the animations, they've added different scenes to help the story flow a little bit better, and also added extra sub-stories.
But you still felt that, didn't you?
And it's just crazy, the sheer amount to do in this game, with all the quests, with all the events, and I love in Yakuza 3, the changing of the battle styles on the fly, and the amount of combinations you can do, which is a staple now of the series, but it's presented perfectly. But again, they've added so much to Yakuza 3 just with that game, but there's an entire other game here with Dark Ties. And it gives a totally different perspective to the overall story of Yakuza 3, and it definitely adds to it.
Looks like the rumors were true.
And I haven't even talked about voice and music. The music is always great in these games, but the voice, I can't believe it. I used to be just a Japanese purist, always with the subtitles on. But over the years, voice acting in these games has gotten so great, and it's always been pretty good in this series, that I loved it in English, and I love playing this game in English.
Shit. The hell does he eat to get that strong?
Another thing about this series that I've always loved, and that is the humor that's thrown in. And it's always fitting, especially when sometimes in the story, you're dealing with like intensity and all this crazy stuff that's happening, and the humor always pops in and adds just the right amount of levity to a given situation.
He's an insult to apes.
What?
And again, I'll ask you guys, what do you think of this series? Are you a fan? Are you getting this new game? I'm telling you, check out the demo if you're on the fence. It's a really great experience. They put a lot of work and a lot of time into making this the best version of the game possible. And I've been really impressed with the game. Let me know what you think down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.
You made a promise, and you're gonna keep it. Take me to your boss.